What's up, everybody? Walking in Love with Horror. My name is AJ.
I'm Christy.
And y'all, welcome to our new set. So, obviously we've been absent for a little bit over on YouTube and on the podcast platforms as we was getting settled into the new crib. We finally got our equipment set up. I mean, the room is still a little bit of a work in progress, but this is pretty much going to be the foundation as we build on to this set. But we are finally back. And we got a slew of reviews to do for y'all. So be prepared to, get hit with a lot of new videos because we've been watching the new movies that have been coming out, but we just haven't had the opportunity to review them. So we're about to go back a few weeks ago, and this review, which is spoiler free review, is going to be on Presence. So we did watch this film the weekend it came out. I think we already reviewed it on our Letterboxd. So now this is going to serve as the official video / podcast review for Presence. So of course Presence is the latest film from Steven Soderbergh. This one was well reviewed coming out of the festivals last year, and it finally got its official theatrical release in January of this year. This is one we were really looking forward to because it always sounded interesting. Of course, this is the film that is from the ghost perspective, the entire film, which I thought was just kind of like a dope concept in general. But it stars Lucy Liu as the mom of this family, Chris Sullivan as Chris, the dad of the family. Then you got Kalina Leong playing the daughter Chloe. Then you got Eddie Madej playing the son Tyler, and that's our main family. And then we're following, whoever the ghost is in this film as a family moves into this new house. The ghost is observing them, and then things start to progress and becomes this more haunting type of thing as it climaxes into, the crazy resolution of this story. But yeah, let's talk about this, babe. What did you think about Presence?
It was okay.
Okay.
I think it didn't really feel like a horror movie to me. So I think that's what kind of threw me off. It was kind of like a family drama, like an HBO movie.
Yeah, it was definitely more drama, slight thriller-ish. There was never full
thriller-ish.
There's moments. You have to agree there was at least some moments of
thriller moments.
Yeah, like a more suspenseful thriller element,
I suppose.
Yeah, there was moments for it, but it's definitely not like a full-on horror movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely not. And I also went a totally different direction than I was expecting it to go. Not saying that was a bad thing. It just wasn't. I don't know. It just didn't really give me what I was wanting from the movie. But I thought the performances were really good.
Oh yeah.
I did like some aspects of it. And I did kind of like the ending of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was just okay to me.
Okay. I'm actually a little bit different than you.
Yeah.
I actually really like this movie a lot.
Be the theme in all of our movie reviews.
yeah, I would say so far with 2025, a lot of the movies you've been okay on, and I've been really high on. Damn, that was a good movie, and this is one of them. I actually think Presence is an excellent film. I was pleasantly surprised with this movie. For one, I didn't know what to expect because the whole perspective aspect. I'm like, how are you going to do this movie from the ghost perspective? And I thought it was handled so well. And so I'll run through a couple things that I really like about this film. One, the runtime is super tight. I think it's less than an hour and a half. And I like films where it doesn't add any fluff, it gets to the point. And you have just a really well-paced story. And this story is very well-paced. There was never a moment where I got disengaged or disinterested. I was always hooked, always wondering, how things are going to play out, always wondering how the dynamics of this family were going to play out. And I don't know, because you talked about how the performances were so good, the family felt so genuine, so real. And that just made me even more interested in how things are going to play out as I became more invested in this family. But I do agree with you. It's very much not a horror film. It's definitely more on the drama side with some suspense sprinkled in. But man, it was just handled so well. And it's just this nice little story package. It almost feels like a story somebody would just tell, like if people were just all sitting around one night and they were telling a story about, what happened with this particular family. That's the package that it feels like, because it's a, shorter film and whatnot. But I like where the story went. I like how it concluded. I like how it wrapped things up. I like the evolution of these characters as they are trying to figure out the different family problems that they have going on. I liked some of the effects that they used when they were showing some of the haunting elements, keeping it spoiler free. I like some of those effects, and something about it just felt so simple. The film, because it's in the ghost perspective, it takes place in one location. I'm big on that. Where you can just take one location and that's the whole movie, but it never feels boring. And I think Steven Soderbergh just kind of like killed it with this one. And I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. I walked away really liking this film a lot.
I disagree. I found it quite boring at times. It was too simple for me, I think.
Oh, okay.
And there wasn't really like, I don't know, it was nothing impactful to me. It was just, here it is. Here's the story. I don't know. I didn't really like that. But I don't know. It was missing something for me. It wasn't.
Okay.
It didn't. There was no. I don't know. No moment where I was just like, this is. I'm feeling this. I don't know. It just never really got there for me. Okay. I did like, the wrap up of it. I liked that aspect of it. But getting there, I felt like, ooh, this is dry.
Oh, you felt dry.
It was boring for me. I didn't really. It was just too simple, I think, for me.
Oh man, like for some reason I was invested with the family, and I think it's because the performers are selling it so good that I was like.
I mean, I think the performances were good. Yeah, but I don't think they were on the level that you're talking about.
No, I was like, I thought they were really actually pretty good. Like the family felt super believable. And then obviously there's different messages about be careful about the people you're around. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like cherishing the moments with your family. It's like some slight coming of age things. There's even messages about like being too focused on career. There's all these different micro messages within there that if you want to like dig into it, you can. But even just from a basic surface level, I like the simplicity of the story. It reminds me about last year's horror films. Like Oddity was one I really liked. And again, for me,
there's nothing with Oddity though.
Well, they're not the same, but the comparison I'm making is the simplicity of the story.
Yes,
the Oddity story is so simple.
It was not as simple as this one was. Like Oddity does have that moment. I don't know how to describe that.
Well, the Oddity is more of a horror film.
It does have that. Well, yes, it is way more of a horror film than this is. Yes, but I don't think that the simplicity that you're talking about are the same. Like this one is just.
I think the simplicity is the same. It's you know what I'm saying?
We can agree to disagree on
like
this.
The story. Like I mean, what I mean by it is like the story is super simple.
I think this like the Oddity story is not.
There's no complexity to the Oddity story whatsoever.
I mean, it doesn't have.
It's super straightforward.
Yes, it is, but there's layers to it. There's way more layers to that story than this story. Mm-hmm. Just to me.
Okay, no, I respect that. But yeah, as you see, we got more films to talk about. We got more reviews coming, y'all. So make sure you're subscribed and following us, because this dynamic where we're kind of on the other sides of the fence will play into some of these other reviews you're going to be talking about too. But over on In Love with Horror, we do our ratings out of 5. So what would you give Presence out of 5?
3. And
that's actually
that's
kind of
me
high.
pushing it. I feel like 2.5 is probably where I would rather sit at it. But I mean, I give this one credit for thinking outside of the box and giving a unique way to tell a story. I do think it is very unique in the concept of doing it the way that it was done.
Yeah.
So I do give it credit for that, and it's being its originality.
Okay. No, I'm with that. For me, I was between 3.5 and 4. So I think if we average our scores out, let's just call it 3.5 for Presence.
Okay.
I think 3.5 is a fair spot between the two of us if we had to settle on one score from the both of us. But because I'm also thinking about, as I'm rating this, I'm thinking about other films and just trying to position the ranking in my head. And I think 3.5 is definitely a fair rating for this because I think it is better than the average film. I even got some hot takes with this. And I feel like I'm gonna be using this reference a lot, at least in the beginning of 2025, of using Nosferatu as a board of which one would I rather watch. Just because you and I weren't big on Nosferatu. And it's one of those films where even the more I sit on it, the more I dislike it. You know what I'm saying? And on the real, I'd watch Presence again before I ever watch Nosferatu again. For me personally, I would rank Presence above that. So as I'm ranking this film, that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about.
I would not watch either one of these films again.
All right. Okay. I feel you on that. But y'all, hey, look, that's what we think about Presence. We're sitting around that 3.5 out of 5 mark. But what if you've seen Presence? What do you think about Presence? Did the concept of the film work for you? Do you think that there is some layers of complexity there that maybe we're not covering? Was it too simple for you? Drop all of your thoughts in the comments, whether you're on YouTube or on Spotify. You can comment on either one of those platforms, and we post on both of those platforms too, if you prefer just listening on the audio version for these reviews. But let us know your thoughts. We'd love to discuss that with y'all. And look, again, make sure you subscribe and following us because we're about to drop a whole bunch of reviews for films that we've watched that have come out to the theaters. We still got a review companion. Then we'll also be reviewing Hard Eyes. So make sure you subscribe. Go check on our channels and stuff for those reviews as well. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this one. We'll see you next one. We out. Peace.